Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jewel. We are in the middle, well, not the middle, we just started a little golden book series. And I got a little ambitious with this one because I want to make 8 of these books at once. And the last video we cut down the covers, and I went over some tips and things of what to do when you cut down your covers and prepare your pages. So the next thing I wanted to show you is the fabrics and the papers and the items I have pulled to go into the book. So first of all, I just want to show you that I tucked in this fabric, and this one I may use. But what I did with these books is I'm going to take another one so you can see, because I'm not finished with Tawny Scrawny Lion yet. So the other children's book that I shared last time was a digest of children's books that I got off of eBay. Vintage children's books, and all of these little golden books are also vintage. So here, the Snow White one, I have the pages. What I did, because I didn't want to turn the edge of the page back, in order for it to fit in the spine, I ended up trimming all the pages and then numbering them so they could stay in order. And what I will do is hinge these. I'll either hinge them to some of my other papers or make a hinge for each of them, and then they can be sewn into the spine. But I'll show you what I mean afterwards. Also, in those books, I found a lot of the stories that were coordinated with the book, so I pulled them. This is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and here's some of the book pages out of that old book that I gutted. If you didn't see it, it's last time when we were preparing the pages. So here is the fabric that I chose. I went and pulled the fabrics that I could that went with the book covers. So I chose that one, and I just tucked it right inside the top and the bottom until I'm ready to work on this book. Here's another one. We're going to do the Cinderella one together, but I just wanted to show you. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this fabric or not. I'm not 100% sure if that is going to work for me. I may have to get some fabric just for these books, because I don't have a lot. But I wanted to show you, here are the pages, and I cut them down, cut a little off them so they would fit nicely in the spine. And then also, let me see, I should have, yes, in that neat other vintage book, I pulled out a bunch of nursery rhymes. So these are going to be the old book pages that I'm going to add to these pages with my other papers. So on and on and on I did that with each of these books. And let's go down to Cinderella. Here's Peter Rabbit, and I want to get this in my shop because Easter is coming. And I also found, well, I found a couple pieces of fabric that might work on this, but I also found those the Tale of Peter Rabbit in the other book. So I thought that would be great. All right, so here's Thumbelina, and I chose this fabric because I thought it went well. So let me actually tuck that inside of there. And here's our Cinderella that we're going to work on. Then I've got a riddle book, and I've got a lot of extra. I thought about this fabric, but I don't think it's quite bright enough. I may use it because it has all the colors in it, especially the yellow. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that fabric. And then I have a Bambi, and I don't have any fabric for that I have found. And then this one I haven't completed yet because I'm not going to do this book until a couple months away, and it'll be for the 4th of July. And that's a patriotic type book. Then what I did is I pulled out, well, let me put that aside. I have the different papers. Now, mind you, I'm making 8 books, so I did different vintage or printed vellum here. So here's a stack, and I'll pull from that stack. That's the printed vellum. Then I have this old graph paper, and this this is actually newer than this, but I coffee dyed this because I was worried that this would disintegrate because it's really vintage. Then I have doilies that are going to go in there somewhere, and I have 8 here. And we'll talk about possibly maybe more doilies. Then I have colored papers because I wanted to add, and these I all dyed all of these yesterday. Look at the neat effect of that. That actually I did by dropping a couple alcohol ink drops into the coffee paper. No, tea. I did tea and coffee, but that's light. That was a lighter paper. So I have the color because I wanted to put some colored, because these books are very vibrant. I wanted to make sure and have some colored pages. Here's just some plain tea, or this one, these are coffee dyed here. And this is a neat paper. You hear that? It's got a great sound. Then these are all cut down already for size of the book, so I can just pull from them. Music paper. This paper I tea and coffee dye. Some of these, like this is coffee. The coffee came out a little darker. And this says jot that down, and here's the back side of that. So this is just off a tablet that I found at Tuesday morning. And I tea dyed that, and then some lighter tea stained paper. So those are the papers we're going to choose from. I also pulled out some different bags, some glassine bags, and then here's some paper bags that I cut down, cut the gusset off, and remade them so they would lay flat. So I did a video on different things to do with your paper bags that you bring home from the grocery store. Then I also pulled a box. I have this box of different items that I want to put in the journals. Now again, this is overkill because I'm doing, these are a lot of journals. These are the smaller bags. Some I made, some I didn't. Some are made out of vellum. Some are made out of wax paper. So I have these. Then I have a stack. Well, here's some time cards in case I want to fold those in, but they may be too bulky because there's going to be a lot of pages in this journal. Here's some small doilies. I may do something with these. They may go on the page as interest, built-in collages, and different things. I pulled out these cupcake liners, and I like the colors to go with some of these books. I may make some embellishments out of those. I have these corner, for the metal corners for book corners, because all the books are going to need that. So I have 2 varieties of that. Then I have little envelopes that I had coffee dyed, and let me see. Here's one that I did out of just some collaging out of Reader's Digest, and this was out of craft cardstock, that I made. Here is a coin envelope type thing I made, and here's another one. This one I've stamped on, so we have those. Let me put those aside. I also have these neat envelopes. This has actually been all connected. So I may put it in like this, or I may go ahead and collage or embellish that. So I have these. They've already been coffee stained. These were in my stash where I had done some embossing on them, dry embossing. And then here's a bag, because I thought maybe the colors would go in some of those, so I just pulled them. So these I had done earlier, and these were done with gelatos. So I have those. I also have more of these type envelopes. So those may go in there. And I have a window envelope that I made. Here, let me move this. I hope the lighting's okay. Let me see. All right, I'm going to put that on. Then I have some of these plain envelopes here that I may sew in, or most of the envelopes I probably will do a tip in with. I also have these large collaged bags that I made. See, it's like a Franken paper. I took the this is a Walgreens bag. I took the bag apart and I collaged it and sewed it, and then I put it back together. And I did do a video on these, so if you're interested, it's back in there. And then I also have my collaged envelopes that, this one's a window one. This side's, I haven't finished it because I'm not sure how I'm going to put it in the book yet. So I have that, and then my other collaged envelopes. And I did do a tutorial, or a share, I should say, on these, and we did one together. So I have a stack of these that may go in there. So let me put all of these items back. And then I'm going to show you, I did pick out some cardstock, and I have some tag, did you see? Oh, I also have these little envelopes. They're all different. So I might use those. Okay, let me just put this back. I'm trying to keep things organized for when I go to start doing. I will do one with you, and then I will come back and do an assembly line of the other ones. Okay, now, the next step, well, let me just show you a couple more things. I did pull out, I cleaned this wallpaper. I may sew these into the spine. I'm not sure yet. It depends on how, if the pages go. And that's wallpaper. Then I may do some collaging. I have some tags that these I had made earlier. The only thing I haven't done is sewn around them, and I thought these two would be cute. I'll probably round the corners and sew and just put them in like that. They've already been backed on, this is like a coffee stain, some type of paper. It almost looks like a craft paper that I dyed, coffee stain. And there's some just plain coffee stain cardstock on the back of that, and this little image. Then I went online and found some images, and most of these are from Graphic Fairy, and I'm going to make tags out of all these. There's a huge variety of them, and I've already cut them down. Most of them are 4x6. A couple of them are smaller. So I would have a variety. So that's going to take me some work to make these into tags. I mean, some of them may just be journaling cards. This is a very heavyweight, and I used matte media photo paper. Okay, and that's, you see this beautiful, it really prints much better than plain cardstock. Look how vivid that image looks. And I just have a what do you call it, an inkjet printer. Then I have some cardstock here that's cut down for tag sizes, and I may do some collaging with my cut-offs. I did pull out some napkins, that I liked, and they may go in in some of the collaging. So these are cute. So I just pulled out a variety, and I wanted to show you, I pulled this out of my stash. I had made this quite a while ago, where I'd collaged a decoupage, I guess that's what you call it, a doily, and then I dyed it, and I'm not sure, these could be gelatos as well, and some distress inks. And then I went over the whole thing with my Mod Podge, my homemade Mod Podge. So I may take some of those doilies that are in that and do that. Oops, here's another napkin, so I'm going to put those in there. I also have these to be used in collage. And then I made these little, these are photo cards. I'm going to probably print out, well, actually I haven't print out, I just haven't cut them out, of old images of children and their mom. And then I made, these are ready for me to make into little booklets from the offcuts, okay, of my papers. And I have a lot of them. So I made a little, they're ready for me to add the papers in and sew. So I'll show you those when I'm done. So here's some images. Graphics, aren't they pretty? I love them. This is just darling. So I have those all in the vintagey, you know, the vintage type. So I will be making some tags out of these. There's a cutoff of a manila envelope. What else? Oh, for collaging, I may use some of these vellum images. These ended up printing on vellum, and I meant for them to print on photo paper, but I didn't realize I had vellum in there. So I will use them somewhere in the books. Okay, let me put these away. I pulled this doily out. It may go. It's already colored and it's silver on the inside. I thought that was pretty. That may go. I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, and this, when you make a boo-boo with your, let's say your ink runs out like mine did here, I'm going to just take this part of the image here and put that somewhere in the book as a piece of ephemera. It says, "Wee legs and arms were quite exposed." Look how cute this is. And this is out of a 1917 magazine. I think it's out of the 1917. I have about 5 or 6 of these magazines going between 1912 and 1920. So then I pulled out some pattern cardstock. So I looked through the books, I saw the colors that were in there. I also do have, you know, some other I may need to use. So these I pulled out. So when you're making your books, maybe this will help you, as this one's super vibrant. Isn't that pretty? I think that'll go in one of those ones that has a lot of color in it. I think the Beanstalk has a lot of color in it. So I wanted to say something else about this. You can also use, you know, down in here in your collaging. I don't like to waste anything. I find a way to use it. Okay, what else? Okay, our Cinderella book. Whoops. I have this fabric that I had. Now, I prefer it to be one continuous piece, but I don't have it. So this will probably be covered up. I'll have to cover up with lace in the middle or something, some type of trim. I have really wide grosgrain ribbon, so I will use this on the spine, this color, and see how nicely the colors match. It's like a teal, and I had made my last soft-sided journal out of that. Then I had found the Cinderella, well, I cut down my pages, and we're going to go ahead and hinge some of those in the next video. And then I found this Cinderella story out of one of those old children's books. So I have all these papers and then those papers to go in. So I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to hinge a couple of these and then we'll come back and hinge a few, but I want to get my book in order and or my items in order here because I've got to move everything off my desk now so I have a clean desk to work from. So I'll be back this afternoon. Okay guys, I hope that helps, and when you're getting ready to build a journal, these are ideas that I have that have helped me to prepare to make more than one journal at once, but we're only going to do one, and I will be doing 8 or 9, 8 or 9, something like that. Okay, have a blessed day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.